I'd like to invite two of the three winners of our hackathon. So we had a tie for second place, and we're going to have both of the teams that tied for second with 15 votes present today. I'd like both of them to come up to the stage. And then tomorrow we'll have the first place hack presenting in the plenary session. All right, and first I'd like to invite John Kristoff, representing Team Black Hole Route Monitor, to give us an overview of his hack.
Thanks, Sean. So I should first say one of our teammates created a presentation yesterday, which I messed up because they use a different application. So I had to kind of recreate that, but hopefully I captured the highlights of that. But we had perhaps a nicer looking one that I'm showing you today. So there was an idea that I had for the hack yesterday. It involved something that derived from a research paper that I had read a few weeks ago, where some researchers were trying to study patterns and behavior for black hole routes at a few internet exchanges. And I thought that, well, that was interesting. Wouldn't it be nice if we could examine black hole routes from not just internet exchange providers, but from all SPs who provide some interface via Looking Glass or a route server? And could we do something with that data, if nothing more than just some sort of feed or view of black hole routes sort of being announced throughout the world at places and points all over? So I presented the idea, and a handful of people seemed interested in that for one reason or another, not necessarily for the same reasons that I was, and so we came together and started hacking away on this. So that was our initial plan, was to first go around and find where we could get these black hole routes from. So some places you can get them via examining next hops. Other places you can examine community tags. And so I initially thought we would be doing a lot of screen scraping and parsing of very unique and distinct interfaces, and then pulling that data out and putting it in some database and then doing something with it and building tools and so forth. It seemed to be a little complicated and a little bit hacky to try to do that, but it was a hackathon, so I thought that was a good place to undertake that effort. I'll skip over a few slides because we have a few, but we had one team member who I might say is a little bit of a ringer, who came to us with a product that they literally had helped develop. A woman from CADA must have found this idea intriguing because there was some synergy between the tool that she had worked on called BGP Stream and the idea that we had of pulling black hole routes out of BGP data. So this, in fact, ultimately was going to save us a tremendous amount of time, because this provided us an interface into routing data that CADA collects and aggregates from multiple places, including RIPE and route views and some other places. And that allowed us to literally just build very short pieces of code that would tie in pulling out information based on, again, either community tag or a next hop address. And so just showing you some sample code, literally there was not much more to some Python code than what you see on the screen there. So that seemed a tremendous amount of effort, and it was almost like we were partially done for a lot of that back-end work. So that was very cool. So once we started collecting that, we started putting it into a database. We built a simple schema that just simply had a tag of where this data came from, whether it came from a DKIX or a level 3 or whoever, the timestamp, the origin AS, or the actual prefix that was announced as a black hole. And then we could do things with that data. Then we can create text-based feeds and top 10 reports, built a web interface, and a couple of people on the team were thinking of using this data not so much just as sort of insight and as a curiosity, but to build something that they could use on behalf of their customers when a customer calls them about questions, whether a website is down or why they can't get to something or why traffic is not being delivered to them. So most likely many of you heard of the who am I command on Unix, and so we came up with a am I dead command for our black hole route server, so you could check to see if something is actually being black holed somewhere on the internet or not. So we have this nice, cool, fancy logo that has the spinning wheel of death. I don't know how well you can make some of this out, but just a quick screenshot of like what the database looks like. This doesn't come off very well. The font's real strong, but here's some top 10 reports that we were doing. There was a web interface, and I think this still might be accessible. I don't know how much data is actually in there, but you can try to link on that and see if you can get at it for at least the next couple of days or so. So that's kind of what we came up with, and it's not fully done, but it was something that we felt we'd made some progress on, and hopefully you'll see some more of this from me and perhaps the rest of the team. So if you have any questions about it, you can come find or I'll point you in the direction of one of our team members down if you want to talk more about how to make use of this data. That's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, John.